Men who are enemies to one another may not know each other, while a woman knows them all. Welcome to another episode. In the last, we ended at sign 102 of chapter 12 of the Holy Quran, of section 12, sorry, 102 of section 12 of chapter 2 of the Holy Quran. We didn't read the notes because I was compelled to stop abruptly. Let's go to the notes, but let's recap the last sentence, the last or two, yes, the last or two phrases. Uh, they did sell their souls if they but knew. Or let me make it a whole sentence. And vile was the price for which they did sell their souls if they but knew. And that was the last sentence. That was the last sentence of Psalm 102. And then, yes, we're going to Psalm 103, which we read, but but I mixed up. Yes, we now go to the note to read to that sign, which the end of which I just read now. We will now go to the sign, and the sign is 10. Sorry, we are now going to the note, and the note is note 103. This is a continuation of the argument in chapter 2, sign 101, full stop. The people of the book, instead of sticking to the plain books of Revelation and seeking to do the will of God, ran after all sorts of occult knowledge, full stop, most of which was false and evil. But wonderful tales of occult power attributed to power of Solomon to many wonderful tales of occult power attributed to the power of Solomon to magic. Many wonderful tales of occult power attributed to the power of Solomon to magic, full stop. But Solomon dealt in no arts of evil. King Solomon or Prophet Solomon or Annabi Suleiman dealt in no arts of evil, full stop. It was the powers of evil that pretended to force the laws of nature and the will of God, semicolon. Such a pretense is plainly blasphemy. Such a pretense is plainly blasphemy. And that was note 103 to sign. That was note 103 to sign 102. That's not the only note. We also have 104 as well as 105. So let's move to note 104. Harut and Marut lived in Babylon. Full stop. Hold on, comma. A very ancient seat of science, especially the science of astronomy. especially the science of astronomy. The period may be supposed to anywhere about the time when the ancient Eastern monarchies, when the ancient Eastern monarchies were strong and enlightened, semicolon, probably even earlier, probably even earlier, as Marut or Madruk, as Marut is spelled M left A, then R left U, and then TU, as Marut or Madruk was a deified hero after, afterwards worshipped as a god of magic in Babylon. Uh, uh, being good men, Harut and Marut, of course, dabbled in nothing evil, mm, and their hands were certainly clean of fraud. But knowledge and the arts, if learnt by evil men, can be applied to evil users. Full stop. The evil ones, besides their fraudulent magic, also learnt a little of the true science and applied it to evil users. Full stop. Harut. This is applying to the Israelis. This is applying to the Israelis in particular. Harut and Marut did not withhold knowledge, yet never taught anyone without plainly warning them of the trial and temptation of knowledge in the hands of evil men. Full stop. Being men of insight, they also saw the blasphemy that might rise to the lips of the evil ones, puffed up with science, and warned them against it. وما يعلمان إلا without warning them, ولا يعلمان إلا forgotten it. It's there in the sentence. Let's see. وما كفروا سليمان ولكن الشياطين كفروا يعلمان الناس السر ما أنزل على ملكين ببابل هاروت وماروت. Mm. Yes, وما يعلمان من أحد حتى يقولا إنما نحن فتنة. They didn't teach anybody without warning them that it's a trial. Mm. So let's go back to the note. Harut and Marut did not withhold knowledge, yet never taught any without plainly warning them of the trial and temptation of the knowledge in the hands of evil men. That's where we were. Full stop. Being men of insight, they also saw the blasphemy that might rise to the lips of the evil ones puffed up with science and warned them against it. Knowledge is indeed a trial. Yeah, footnote. Knowledge is indeed a trial or temptation. Colon. If we are warned, we know its dangers. Semicolon. If God has endowed us with free will, we must be free to choose between the benefit and the danger, mm, which the followers didn't do. The followers of magic didn't do. Still on sign 104, paragraph. Among the Jewish traditions in the Midrash, into brackets, Jewish tafsirs. Midrash means Jewish tafsirs. And Midrash is spelled Midrash. Among the Jewish traditions, in the Midrash Jewish traditions, in brackets, was a story of two angels who asked God's permission to come down to earth, but succumbed to temptation and were hung up by their feet as, at Babylon for punishment. Such stories about sinning angels who were cast down to punishment were believed in by the early Christians also. Full stop. Then we have brackets. Mm. See the second epistle of Peter, chapter 2, verse 4, and the epistle of Jude, verse 6, brackets closed. And that was signed note 104 to sign 102. Yes, to sign 102. Let's now go to sign note 105. Let's go to note 105, which is against lend them from the means. They lent from them the means to sow discord. The means to sow discord. Let's go there. Sign note 105. What the evil ones lent from Harut and Marut, into brackets, see last note, the one that we just read, 104. What they lent from Harut and Marut, they turned into evil. Full stop. When mixed with fraud and deception, it appeared as charms and spells and love potions. Full stop. They did nothing but cause discord between the sexes. When they say man and wife, it doesn't mean married people in particular, between the sexes. They caused, they did nothing but cause discord between the sexes. Full stop. But of course, their power was limited to the extent to which God permitted the evil to work. Okay, for God permitted the evil to work for His grace. For His grace protected all who sought His guidance and repented and returned to Him, God. So the evil didn't affect the guided ones, those who follow guidance from God, won and returned to Him. So His grace protected all who sought His guidance and repented and returned to Him, God. But apart from the harm that these false pretenders might do to others, the chief harm which they did was to their own souls. They sold themselves into slavery to the evil, as is shown in the allegory of Goethe's Faust. Faust is spelled Faust, and Goethe is a personality of Goethe's Faust. Full stop. That allegory dealt with the individual soul. Full stop. Hence, the tragedy is shown to occur not only to individuals but to whole groups of people. For example, the people of the book, who are the Jews, and the people of the book, full stop. Indeed, the story might be extended indefinitely. And that's note 105 to sign 102. Now let's go to sign 1. That was note 105 to sign 102. Now let's go to sign 103. Below وأنهم آمنوا واتقوا لمثوبة من عند الله خيرا. If they had kept their faith, mm, ولو أنهم آمنوا, if they had kept their faith and guarded themselves from evil, و- واتقوا واتقوا لمثوبة, guarded their faith, uh, and guarded themselves from evil, and guarded themselves from evil. Far better had been the reward from God if they but knew. If they had kept their faith and guarded themselves from evil, far better had been their reward from God if they but knew. ولو أنهم آمنوا واتقوا لموثوبة من عند الله خيرا لو كانوا يعلمون. If they but knew. And that is sign 103 without any note. And 103 is the end of section 12. Let's delve uh, in section 13. And so now we're going to section 13, which begins with sign 104. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقولوا رائنا وقولوا انظرنا. Oh, ye people of faith, الذين آمنوا, يا الذين لا أيها الذين آمنوا, oh, ye people of faith, say not, into brackets to the prophet, رأينا, but say انظرنا. They are synonymous in meaning, but the unbelievers attributed an evil meaning to the word ra'ayna, and God is telling us we shouldn't use the word ra'ayna when we're addressing the prophet, but rather say unsuruna, like trying to draw his attention. Kalu unsuruna wa isma'u anzurna wa istamu la yakuna, but rather say unzurna and hearken to him, and hearken, but the to him is in brackets, and hearken. That means isma'u. So they are trying to draw the attention of the prophet. Don't say ra'ina, but say unzurna and hearken to him, and listen to him. Wal kafirina azabun alim. Wal kafirina azabun alim. To those without faith is a grievous punishment. Azabun alim. And to those without faith, and to those without faith is a grievous punishment. Note 106. Note 106. The word disapproved is ra'ina. Oh, sorry, ra'ina. I'm the sorry. The word disapproved is ra'ina, which, as used by the Muslims, meant, please look at us. Please look at us. Into brackets, attend to us. That's what I say when they are trying to draw his attention. Or attend to us. All in double inverted commas. But it was ridiculed by enemies by a little twist to suggest some insulting meaning. Full stop. So an unambiguous word, unzurna is in double inverted commas, unzurna, with the same meaning, is suggested. The general lesson is that we must guard ourselves against the cynical trick of using words which sound complimentary to the ear but have a hidden harm in them. Sorry, have a hidden barb in them. Full stop. Not only must we be plain and honest in our words, we must respectfully hearken to the words of a teacher whom we have addressed. Full stop. Thoughtless people use vain words or put foolish questions and straightway turn their minds to something else. You will wonder why this to the prophet. Remember, they came as messengers. Hmm? This is only telling us that it's going to happen in life again and again and again and again after the messengers have departed, so that we shouldn't be surprised. A leader may be ridiculed by some words. It's done. We've seen it every day. eh, by maybe ridicules by words which are not supposed to be ridiculous. Mm. Okay, and that was note 106 to sign 104. Let's go to sign 106. وما 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 يود وما يود وما يود الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب ولا مشركين أن ينزل عليكم من خير من ربكم. It is never the wish of those without faith, الذين كفروا, among the people of the book, من أهل الكتاب, nor of the police or the polites, يشركون, mushrikina, sorry, or the people, nor the of the polites, mushrikina, that anything good should come down to you from your Lord. So it's not their wish, for instance, that this Quran should come down to Muhammad, pardon me, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, come down from your Lord. Full stop. من ربكم. والله يختص والله يختص والله يختص برحمته من يشاء. But God will choose for his special mercy whom he will. For instance, choosing Muhammad is the wish of God, that God wishes, whom he will. For God is Lord and grace of abounding. Man yasha'a, wallahu zul fadl azim. Wallahu zul fadl azim. God is Lord of grace and abounding. And that was sign 105 of section 13, without any note. We now go to sign 106. Okay. Oh my God. وما وما ننسخ من آية أو ننسها وما ننسخ من آية أو ننسها تأتي بخير تأتي بخير منا أو مثلها let me take it again. ون... وم... ما ننسخ من آية أو ننسها نأتي بخير منها أو مثلها. None of our revelations do we abrogate. ننسخ or ننسخ. Do we abrogate or cause to be forgotten? أو ننسها, it's not ننسها. ننسخ أو ننسها, or cause to be forgotten. ننسها. تأتي بخير منها أو مثلها, but we substitute something better or similar. So God's signs are not meant to be forgotten or abrogated. They remain there forever. Uh, oh, oh my God. But we substitute something better for it. And the substitution, I suppose, is the Quran. The Jews wish to abrogate it or made to be forgotten. They have substituted something better to their scriptures, which they intend to change. And that is the Quran. That's an example. And probably that's what is meant also. Something better for it. مثلها ألم تعلموا أن الله على كل شيء قدير. ألم تعلموا أن الله بكل شيء قدير. Knowest thou not that God hath power over all things? So nobody can cause his word to be forgotten or to be abrogated. No. He will bring something better than that. And that something better is the Quran. Note 107. Note 107 is against the word revelations, none of our revelations. The word which I have translated by the word revelations, ayatun, ayatun by revelations, is ayat, or ayatun. So ayatun here is not sign or verb, but revelations, as interpreted by our learned ancestors. The word which I have translated by the word revelations is ayat, full stop. See note 15. It is not only used for verses of the Quran, but in a general sense for God's revelations as in it, as in chapter 2, sign 39, and for other signs of God in history or nature or miracles, as in chapter 2, this very chapter, sign 61. So ayat actually goes beyond, the meaning actually goes beyond verse or sign. It can mean anything sent down. It can mean anything sent down, as in 261. It's even been used for human signs and tokens of wonder, as for example, monuments or landmarks built by ancient people of art, into brackets, chapter 30, or chapter 26, sign 128, brackets closed. For example, there's a verse. Uh, ونريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم إنه الحق. So ayat now is science, but that is, you can say, monumental. mm, Signs that are not verses in that signs that do not actually mean verses in the Quran. Yes. ونريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم إنه الحق. Until it is clear to them that this Quran is the truth. Okay. Monuments or landmarks built by ancient people. The brackets 26, chapter 26, sign 1 to 1. Full stop, bracket close, full stop. What is the meaning here? What is the meaning here? The one commenting is asking us, if we take it in a general sense, it means that God's message from age to age is always is always the same. Nobody can change it. Mm. It's always the same. But that its form may differ according to the needs of experience, according to the needs and exigencies of the time. Full stop. That was different as given to Moses. Sorry, pardon me. That form was different as given to Moses, and then to Jesus, and then to Muhammad. Full stop. Some commentators apply it also to the ayat of the Quran. That's the signs in the Quran. Full stop. There is nothing derogatory in this. There's nothing derogatory in this if we believe in progressive revelation. Full stop. And progressive revelation is what we just read. Mm. The books given to Moses, Jesus, and even before them to David and whatnot. Mm. Progressive revelation, full stop. In chapter 3, sign 7, we are told distinctly about the Quran, but some of its verses are clear. That some of its verses are clear. Mm. In chapter 3, verse 7, we are told distinctly about the Quran that some of its verses are clear, into brackets, and of established meaning, brackets close, and others are not entirely clear, and it is mischievous to treat the verses that are not entirely clear and to follow them literally. To follow them literally. Or say clear or not clear is to we human beings, but not God. But not to God or the angels who brought it down. It's only clear or unclear to we human beings. Okay. Uh, and others are not entirely clear, and it's mischievous to treat the verses that are not clear as not that are not entirely clear, and to follow them to follow them to brackets literally, full stop. On the other hand, it's absurd to treat with a verse uh, and on the other hand, it's absurd to treat such a verse as in chapter 2 and 115 as if it were abrogated by 2144 about the Qibla. Do we go there to have a full meaning? 2115 and then 2114. Let's quickly go there and see what's there. 115, 115 and 144. 115 and 144. 115, what does it say? 115. Oh, we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't. We are yet to get there. So, viewers, take note when we get to 115, we will compare it to sign 114, which is further away, concerning the Qibla. The next paragraph, uh, there may be there may be express abrogation, or there may be causing or permitting to forget, and this is in bracket in inverted commas. Causing and permitting to forget is in double inverted commas. How many good and wise institutions gradually become obsolete by afflux of time? Afflux is spelled AFFLUX, by afflux of time? Question mark. Then there is a gradual process of disuse or forgetting in evolution. In evolution, sorry. Mm, or forgetting in evolution, full stop. This does not mean that this does not mean that eternal principles change. Mm. The principles do not change, they are eternal. It's like in science. Anything that we learn in science, or any thing manufactured today, is you see that the origin of it are principles of science ages back, written down by people. But the external principles, power that his creation should no. This does not mean that the eternal principles change, full stop. It's only a sign of God's infinite power that his creation that his creation should take so many forms and shapes, not only in the material world, but in the world of man's thought and expression. And that is note 107, 107 to sign, I think to sign 107. No, 107. That was note 107 to, to sign 106. Pardon me. That's note 107 to sign 106. Other viewers, we will halt here. When we come back in our next video, we shall go to sign 107. What we read is note 107. But when we come back, we shall rather go to sign 107. God willing. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Au revoir. May God be with you all.